The first thing that we've accomplished through our IT people and some other people we've contracted with is to be able to set up a geofence, which means basically a quarter mile outside the perimeter of your school. We set it up to where if there's any type of police activity or anything that may concern the school, we'll be able to directly notify you in real time. Now, that's for all the unincorporated charter schools. If you are in a city, we can do that for the city, but they got to request it from us, right? So if you're a charter school and you're in a city like Boca, West Palm, someplace where we don't control, like we control Lake Worth, Royal Palm, you don't have to worry about that. But if you're in a city that does not contract with us, you need to get a hold of them and say, this is what the sheriff provides. Do you provide it? And if not, all they have to do is send us something that says, we'd like you to provide it, we'll take care of it, right? So one way or the other, we got you covered on that, right? And like I said, the technical people will talk to you a little bit about that. This Guardian program, I actually just left the Florida Sheriff's Association conference, and we spent about 2 hours on this particular topic because it has started out in one direction and mutated in about 6 different directions. Because to start with, security companies and security guards were not going to be allowed to be in the Guardian program. That's changed. Number one, they can be. Number two is the training that has to be provided. It says in the statute, the sheriff, if the sheriff declines, he can refer it to another sheriff's office, but it has to be a criminal justice standards and training certified trainer to be able to give the training. We have since learned that some of the security guard companies that want to be involved in this have their own CJIS certified trainers. So we're trying to get a clarification from the Attorney General's office if in fact they can provide the training. Now, we're prepared to do this. It's somewhere between 144 and 184 hours. We're trying to figure out if we're going to weave a couple more hours in there of some things that we think are important. But we're just waiting to find out, A, how many schools are going to do the Guardian program, B, if they're going to contract with the security guard company, C, if that company is going to provide their own training or do we need to provide it. But you got to get these answers quick. Clock's ticking. I don't think there's any way possible that we're going to meet the deadline that's in the statute, because you can only do about 30 people at a time, and that's what, 12 weeks? Ain't going to happen. And that's if everybody passed. They just did a class in Broward with 30 people, 5 passed. It's not that easy, folks. This isn't one of those deals where the football coach gets to come in and be a guardian. There's a lot of hoops to jump through. The first hoop is back on you all. You got to do psychological and the physical before the candidate can even come to the training. If they don't pass that, they can't do the training. And the training's not easy, right? There's some physical agility involved, and you got to be up to speed. You got to be able to think and chew gum and walk and do all that kind of stuff at the same time. Because we're just not going to hand out this certification for people to carry guns and get involved in an armed confrontation just to anybody, right? And that's a benefit to you all, because you don't want those people that are not capable of doing it to start with. Because there's a lot of moving parts here. It's like with our people. We can, look, the reality of it is this. We can teach anybody to shoot a gun. I don't care who it is. It ain't that hard. Point and pull. It's less than 2 pounds of pull. That's the easy part. The hard part is knowing when, who's around, is this a real deal, right? So up here, learning how to determine, is this the time? Who's around? What's going on? Am I going to get shot first, or do I need to have cover and concealment training? I mean, a lot of moving parts. This part's easy. All right, so that's why the training may expand from 144 to like 180 in there, right, for your benefit. So that's what you're here today, mainly to learn about the emergency at least by Monday, because we're going to go to the Attorney General's office and get an opinion from the Attorney General's office if in fact security companies can provide their own training. Actually, if they can do that and they're certified instructors, that will make things easy, because more companies can do more training at once rather than have them come to me. So it's actually a benefit if that's allowed to happen. But right now the statute's pretty clear. It says sheriff certified through criminal justice and standards and training. But as long as the training is there and they get the mandated training by a certified instructor, it really doesn't matter who does it. Right? We're just hoping that they're going to put a couple more elements in there that need to be in there. So I'm going to turn it over to the staff here. Is there any questions that you'd like to ask of me before I turn it over to them? I'm ahead of the game. Number one, I gave you some giveaways, and number two, you got food. Go ahead.
I requested for a permit for off-duty officer.
Yes.
I was told that it was for 1 month from August the 12th.
No, actually, and that's a good question. She says, she asked for a permit deputy, which is basically a deputy that's off duty but acting in the capacity as a deputy sheriff, maybe to bridge the time in between.
Yes.
You could, if you wanted to, the statute allows you to contract with us for a full-time deputy year-round.
And we have in the past.
Yes. And if you want to do that, your school wants to do that, we'll make that happen. All right? With no problem at all. So the permit deputy you can have month by month until a certain time. If it's going to go to 6 months for a year, we'd rather just do a contract.
Okay.
And it'll be cheaper for you too in the long run. Right? But yeah, you can do that. Yes, sir.
I have a private security company, Tactical Security, who are all retired police officers that I contract.
Okay.
Are they going to have to go through this, or are they
Yeah.
already qualified as?
Yeah. The question is, if they employ, are they ex-police officers?
They're all
Yeah. Right. Do they still have to go through the training? Answer is yes. Actually, in Broward, 2 of the people that failed the class in Broward were ex-Miami-Dade police officers. They'd been out of the job for a while, but they decided this is a good way to get back in it, but they hadn't kept themselves up to speed. Probably if you're a recently retired officer, you got a better chance of passing the class because you're up to speed with everything going on. But yeah, they still got to do the 144, without a doubt. Now, if you got CJIS certified trainers in your agency, depending on what the opinion is, they may be able to do the training right in the house. Yes, sir.
Is there somewhere, either at the county level or at the state level, a database or a list of who has gone through this training and is certified? So
I don't know the
company
answer to
says,
that.
yeah, oh yeah, our guys are good.
Yeah.
We can
Yeah.
double check that.
I wish I did. We'll check on that to see if there's a database of people that are available that has the training.
Okay,
Right?
thank you.
The state would have to put that together.
So that would be at the
Yeah.
state level.
Yeah, but we'll check on that for you. Yes.
Thank you. I just want to piggyback on the question. So if we recently retired, until 218, you still have to go through the guardian training program?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. If you're not presently employed as a police officer, either in the jurisdiction or a deputy sheriff, you still got to do the 144. Yep, that's the state statute.
Is that guardian training for public and private both?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, folks, I'm going to be like brutally honest with you, okay? I like the fact that security companies with qualified people, and usually they do a good background screening, you get qualified people that look good in uniform and everything. I like the aspect of the charter schools doing something with them, hiring them on, and us giving them the training, or they do their own. And the reason is this, right? This is the mentality, right? I really don't want to train the principal, the football coach, the guidance counselor. Look, I don't care what anybody says, it's tough to shoot somebody, let alone if it's another student or a kid there, right? Teachers are there to teach and nurture their kids. Can you imagine if the situation comes where you got to do that? That's not your mindset. The other side of that is this training is geared toward people that have that mentality. So the chances of the guidance counselor making it through the training, I don't think it's going to happen. I'm not saying it can't, I just don't think it's going to happen. Yeah.
Good morning. We're kind of in a unique situation. We are Lake Park Baptist, and we're located in Lake Park, but you guys have a satellite office right across the street from us. Do you feel like it's necessary for us to have the guardians
Well-
program in place?
There's a difference between necessary and mandated.
Okay.
Yeah. Would it be necessary? Maybe not. But the statute says you gotta have it.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
Do you have any idea about the timeline when you're expecting that opinion back?
Well, we made a request this morning at 9 o'clock. And we told them, look, this is important, we need to have something back. Sometimes they're really good. We might be able to get it back by the end of the day tomorrow, right? And we got contact information, so we'll be able to get it out. If we get it, my guess is it'll probably be Monday at the earliest, right? Yeah.
Is it, will it, or is it mandated for not just charter public school, but private schools, like for-profit private schools?
If you got a school, and it's a school, you're in it. Yep. Yeah. It's pretty clear. If you got a school, you're in it.
So we have, it's preschool and elementary
Yeah.
to the middle, but then through the health department, who is, kind of runs the preschool side,
Yeah.
we have a security guard on campus, but they're telling us that we're not allowed to have an armed guard on campus, health department.
The health department cannot circumvent the law.
Okay, I just wanted to.
They need to read the law, the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas Act, okay? Health department cannot overrule that.
Right, when I emailed them the information that we were hiring the armed guard, because we also have the elementary school, their attorney from the health department said we were not authorized to have an armed guard on the premises, so, I mean, but I'll go back and.
Tell them to read the law.
Required.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
I have a question. My school already has submitted the names of the people that we want trained for the Guardian program, but we haven't heard anything back. Is there?
Well, and that's because we don't know, A, when we're gonna start, if we're gonna start.
Okay.
And once we do that, then the next question would be, have you given them a psych and have they passed the physical? That's on you, right? You have to provide the psychological, and then you have to provide the physical that says they're physically fit from a doctor, they're okay to go. And a clinical psychologist or psychiatrist has to do the screening to say that they have the mentality. I mean, that's what we do with officers, right? Not everybody passes. Sign off and said they're capable of carrying a gun and making decisions, right? That's back on you. Yes, ma'am.
Quick question, so when you permit for an officer from the sheriff's office, is it by the month, or can you go weekly or
Well,
daily, or?
to get you through the interim, if you're gonna do the Guardian program, because there's some lag, we'll do it on a month by month, but we're not gonna do month by month for a year, right?
Will you do less than a month, like week by week?
Yeah, we can probably do that. Yeah, we can.
Thank you.
Yeah. And the reason we can't do it month by month for a year is because we got thousands of jobs we gotta fill, so we gotta kind of figure out where we're going with that.
Perfect, thank you.
Yep. Speak up, please. Okay. Geez, I thought I talked real loud. All right. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
First of all, I want to say thank you. Your deputies and officers are very involved in the respect how it is on the phone and trying to sort all this out at once. So, secondly, the charter department basically insinuated that they're going to come down heavy-handed on us charter schools if we're not compliant by the first day of school.
Yeah.
If we have a contract for a security company, so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's nice for them to say that they're going to come down hard on everybody, but Palm Beach County is not going to be the only county that's not going to be compliant with every charter school. I mean, yeah, if some county that's got like 12 of them there going to be able to do it, absolutely. But Dade, Broward, Palm Beach County, thousands. It's just not going to happen. Not going to happen. That's why it's smart, like this lady is thinking about, if they're not up to speed to start with, if you're in a jurisdiction that has a program where they allow their officers to go off duty, contract with them for a month or so. If it's with us, contract with us for a month till we get to where you need to be. That way you'll be in compliance. You don't have to worry about it. All right? So there's a way to help you out, because it's just the physical part of it is just not going to happen in between now and opening a school. It can't be. Even if we started the classes today, we can't make it. And that's if everybody passed. All 30 of them passed.
One last question.
Yeah,
Do you know the hourly rate ballpark? So I can use that?
I don't.
$99.
No.
I mean, $90 an hour.
Every hour?
90.
Yeah. Hey. Don't, before you say that's a lot, think about what you're getting. You're getting the guy with a car out front and all that. I mean, that's a lot more than the Guardian's got.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Right? Plus, the guy's got a lot of training. Okay, anyhow, thanks for being here. We're gonna work with you to get where you need to be, right? We're not gonna let you flounder out here. So don't think you're hanging out on your own and we're just saying this is what you gotta do and we're not gonna give you the help. We got your contact information. We're gonna help you get where you need to be, so, you know, stay in contact with us. As soon as I get that opinion, we'll get it out there, okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, folks.